I wasn't able to keep up with your tweets, so I had to invite you again. But please don't stop
Nice.
tweeting.
Nice to see you. Yeah, we've started being more communicative lately, and the feedback has been great. So for sure, we'll keep doing that for a while.
Great. Yeah, that was one thing I was going to ask. Is this a new phase you're going into? Why did you start tweeting like crazy? Again, don't stop.
Well, first of all, we noticed that people are curious about what we're doing,
Mhm. Mhm.
and well, that was never a secret, but we saw that this could be a very low effort on our side, but pretty appreciated thing from the people that use Evernote, and so we said like, why not? And so I just have a little reminder every day. Actually, I don't even have a reminder. I just try to remember at the end of each day to like write about the most interesting thing that I worked during that day. And as long as it's like user facing, something that
Mhm.
people might care about. So yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. I appreciate it. But I'm gonna ask you something. Think about Mastodon, please.
For now, I have to admit that there was no like strategy or anything. It was just like I had a Twitter account, Evernote had one, and so we have those. Let's just start using those. But yeah,
Cool.
we'll get some more like structure in place as we go
Okay,
along.
okay. Okay, I think we can split the tweets into old features that a lot of people wanted before and new ideas. I'd like to start with the old features. And where are the items coming from on your list? Because there are old features that are forever, like I don't know, many of them. So where is this coming from?
Plenty of sources actually. So first of all, we all use Evernote in our
Hmm.
daily job. So all of us, I mean the team, and so when we use it, we just sometimes, as everybody does using any piece of software, we all have our little moments of joy and frustration. And so we say, oh, this is great. We should do it also on that other feature. Or, this part, I really don't like how many clicks. For
Uh-huh.
instance, like, I really don't like how many clicks it requires to move a note from a notebook to another. No, so
Okay.
that's an idea. Okay, it's easy. Like we could just like require one fewer click, no? And so we
Hmm.
just have this very long list of things that we all contribute to, and then we try to assess which ones are going to be the most appreciated based on basically how many people use the feature at hand in that case. And that's just the first source of ideas. um, it's not the most important. The most important is customer feedback. So
Okay.
we try to be very customer oriented and very user centric. And so basically, people they write all the time, either on specific surveys inside the app, or they tag me on Twitter. They write to specific email addresses. They write to customer support, and everything that goes in those places that's written to those accounts, it gets logged, and then
Oh.
during certain moments we just prioritize them and try to see, okay, this we already mentioned it like 2 months ago, so let's plug it to this idea that is currently in our archive, or this is a new one, let's add it and let's just maybe expand a little on it, and let's try to have a little summary of why people think this might be interesting or useful. And then the third bucket is just like in the industry standards. One might think that this is just about like copying competitors. We all do from time to time, so I don't
Hmm.
think it's particularly a bad thing to do.
Just look at iOS and Android, right?
Yeah, I mean they all benefited from learning from each other, and I
Yeah.
think that eventually the consumer won because they were able to copy each other. Um, Another example is like, for instance, I'm taking some inspiration from Slack
Okay.
for the next version of the mobile Evernote app. Let's say, so it's not like you're taking inspiration from other note taking apps or
I see.
a productivity app. No, it's like it's an app that I use every day and that I know very well, and so I know the flows and I know the inside out how it
Hmm.
works. and there are some things that work better on Slack UX wise than there are on Evernote, and so why not? We try to get influenced by all these.
You know, the people that talk about, read about, and study creativity, they always tell us to try completely different things from what we do, because it's where most the ideas will come from. Because if you are looking just to the note-taking apps, like you said, they're kind of the same. But if you look at Slack, that's a completely different app. So there are many inspirations there. So there is no special space where people can go everywhere. People, in a way, tag Evernote. You guys will be logging that.
Yes, I mean it's only fair. No, it's not the customer's job to know where they should tell
Okay.
us different things. It's our job to make sure that
Okay,
we
that's good.
track as many
That's
things as
good.
we
That's
can.
good to hear.
It's a bit time consuming, so we might not like answer quickly to all of these venues, but for sure we will log everything.
Can we talk about a specific feature that I couldn't understand your tweet, the reminders, because I'm going to read here. You said subset. I'm going to start with a subset of it's not reminders, notifications. Subset of notification. I don't even know if I can tell this, but I have it on my Evernote. So what is this subset? What do you mean by that? What are we seeing for now?
First things first, don't worry. Like if I tweet about it, it's public enough so that we can cover it
Okay.
here. So so don't worry about that. What I meant with that sentence is we are starting from some specific groups of notifications, like a family of notifications, and we're not like integrating every possible kind of notification that a user might receive.
Okay.
It's easily explained with an example. So for now, we are only sending notifications about product communications. So
Oh,
there's a new blog post. We are releasing, I don't know, Outlook calendar, for instance. No, so there's a new blog post. Let's make sure that people who actually use the app know that we have this new thing coming. No?
okay.
So that's the first group of notifications that we are starting from, because we want to test the feature, we want to test the little bell, we want to make sure that people there are no problems, there are no bugs, people can read it and click on it, etc. There are other groups of subsets of notifications, such as more like interaction-based notifications. For instance, Vlad just shared a note with you, or you have a task due right now, or note reminder, no, stuff like this, or like calendar events, stuff like that. So what I meant is just for the first iteration, we are just testing this first group of notifications that is just like about product communications. But then as we fine tune how well people react to it, then we will add the others iteratively. I'm a big believer in doing things little by little instead of like doing a very big project at a specific time, because when you do something big in a specific single moment, then you're very scared about this huge chunk that you are pushing to production, and then everything breaks, and then people don't like it because it's too big of a change. Whereas I like the idea of people seeing 1-2 things changing inside the app every week. It demonstrates really well our approach of like being very committed in the long run of
I wanted to talk about this feature because this was something that existed before Evernote 10. I don't know if you guys know this, but we used to have the notification, and it was just like, as you described, everything you mentioned there. I think they used to have a sidebar or something. I don't remember how it was, but the bell was there. And then when we click that bell, we would see the different types of, but exactly what you said. And I think that's great because there are so many things that happen on Evernote, people sharing notes, notification. There's a lot. So I really appreciate that you guys are bringing that back. It's a great feature. I was missing it.
All right, I'm glad. Yeah, this was also inspired by user feedback. So it's not something that we invented by any means. Like it was already there, as you said. This is a big, by the way, this is like a big family of things that we're tracking, like stuff that people used to have that really liked, that don't have anymore, and that would like to have back. So like legacy to V10, and now we have a few things that we are tracking. So yeah, this was one of it.
That's also great to hear. I hope you bring a lot of there used. I don't think that's necessary anymore, but there used to be a little sync icon. You could click there and force synchronization. I think everything now is much more refined. Everything's going on very fast, but to bring peace of mind to some people, maybe that little force sync.
Yeah,
Yes.
I know about it. We are always considering that thing specifically because during the transition period from pre-RTE to RTE, we had some sync issues during a few weeks, and so we were considering like just giving people an indicator of the sync status. Well, to be fair, you do have the indicator in the bottom right under the note, but that wasn't always reliable. So we were thinking about giving back a button to people to do that. But then we fixed the synchronization problems right after RT, and we've observed that people just stopped asking for that, or like didn't ask for it as much, just because they slowly started to build again the confidence that it just works as it should. So it's still open. It's not, we don't have a decision yet, but yeah, there are other examples of things that we will not be able to do, like for instance local nodes. It's not impossible, but like it would be super expensive to build, and it's such a niche use case that we will just not be offering that because it would be the opportunity cost, sorry, to build that instead of 10 other things is just too big for the moment. So we'll not end up building that, for instance.
And I think a very small group of people use that feature, that the logo. Many people didn't even know that was a thing that existed. So I know of people that used it, but I don't even. I think I can count on one hand the people I know that would use that. You end up answering one of my questions that was about the tweets, the ideas. Now let's talk a little bit about the ideas, the new ideas that you are tweeting. So we can assume that every time you tweet something, that's something that's gonna happen in a way or another, or you're just putting some ideas out there. When you tweet it, it's gonna happen or not, or maybe it's gonna happen. That's my question.
I don't have a specific rule. Generally, when something is in an advanced enough state, I will tweet about it. If it's advanced enough, I think it means that there is a like reasonable chance that it goes out rather soon, let's say. I don't have like specific rules. Like it's not like I will tweet 7 days in advance. That's too complicated. I wouldn't be able to do that. I just try to keep it simple. So if we're just talking about it today for the first time, I will not tweet about it because I don't even have an idea about it in my mind. But if like software engineers are already working on that feature, or we are already testing it, or maybe even like it's already out for a little percentage of people and they are giving us their feedback, then I will just talk to everybody about it and see what people think about it. I think it's very underrated as a way to get feedback. The conversation has been very constructive and polite for the most part, so I see no problem in that.
So I guess that if you're tweeting it, it's going to come out in a way or in another. It can be a little bit more polished, but it's something that you guys are already working on.
I might also tweet about something, then we release it, and then we see that it's actually the feedback we receive is actually worse than what we used to have before that. So in that case, we might just discard it, even if I tweeted about it. So don't take my tweet for something that is like a promise or anything. It's something that we are testing, we are building. We will test with people in real life, so in the app, and then we will just work on it based on that.
So I guess you won the battle for the collapsed headers, because we'll have the collapsed header. Is that something that's coming out? That's happening?
Yeah, it is. I think I didn't check the status on that, but I think it's going out tomorrow. So as we record it, it's Monday, 4th of March, and in theory, this week, not tomorrow. Like tomorrow, we are building the new version,
Okay.
but so like this week, in theory, it should start going out to people.
Okay.
I'm really happy about that.
And there's also the slash bar, the slash commands, or I don't know what's that called. And so I saw your tweet. You're starting with the plus menu, the blue one. And but what are the ideas for that? What can you talk a little bit about what you have in mind for that in the future?
So the goal was just to let people not raise their hands from their keyboards if they want to add something that is not just like the usual text. Now, there are keyboard shortcuts, and we will keep supporting those, but it's hard to learn them, and it's hard to build habits around them. Whereas if you just know that you need to hit slash and a little menu opens up and you can just type what you want to add, that's like, as I told you, the concept, you already learned it. So you don't need to like learn by heart some command shift something keyboard shortcuts. So the goal was just to allow this flow of typing not to be interrupted by me raising my hands, going to reach the mouse and then use it. This is not new. Plenty of other apps in general allow something like this, and I really like it. And all the team actually really liked it. And so we tried to find a way that was the simplest way to build it. And so that meant we took the insert menu and we tried to reproduce that with a little changes in how it works. But we're also and that's the first thing that we'll release, because as I said, I don't want to like build a spaceship and then release it and then only after releasing it realize that people actually were okay with a bicycle. It doesn't make sense to spend all that time building something. So we'll release this first iteration, and then based on people's feedback, we will do iteration 2, 3, and 4. Most likely, one of the first things we'll do is add the possibility to create like headings with that, for instance, or like, I don't know, tables. Well, tables are already supported, I think, but like other elements that are not currently supported.
I always have this dual thinking about these features. I love them. I love the keyboard shortcuts. I love all this geeky things. But when I talk to my clients, my students, and try to teach them, even keyboard shortcuts, it's hard for many of them. So that's why I was asking. I know that this is a feature that a lot of people that love it speak very loud, but I'm not sure if it's something that I mean, a good percentage of people will really use. So you guys are also planning to add those little help menus on this, the ones that will pop up, and you know that you can do this or something
I
like
think
that.
that what you're trying to say is that someone might not like it or might not need it, and so it's one more thing to handle in their workflow that they don't necessarily need, and that is distracting them, right?
No, no, no. I think that they will. This is one thing I like about Evernote. Everything you guys add to Evernote, and it's been like that forever. It doesn't create confusion because it's there if someone wants to use it, and if I don't want to use it, never mind. It's not. I don't. I can even see it. Even big things like home, if I don't want to use it, I just don't go there. And so I don't think that's a problem. What I'm trying to say is uh, having the effort to invest on this on your side, on Evernote's side. Uh, and I don't know, I don't have the numbers. I just have the numbers of my clients. They are not tech savvy people. So this is what I'm thinking. Why do something this instead of, for example, what I think it's a good idea, better templates, or for example, a simple thing like, can I select a template that will open when I create a new note from the calendar? I think that would be a much broader audience. I'm not saying that this is not good. I like the idea. I'm just trying to understand the balance here, where you guys are going or coming from to create this.
It's a good point. Basically, my job, we can summarize it by trying to understand how much a new initiative would benefit how many people and to what extent. So if I had to explain what I do in one sentence, this is it. So there are different tactics to do this. Sometimes you are very data driven, so you just try to see like how much do we want to invest in, I don't know, tags, for instance. No tags. Okay, let's invest 100% of our firepower. Well, that doesn't make too much sense because tags are a very niche feature and not that many people use them. So I don't think that 100% is necessarily a good amount, considering the fact that there are other features that are used by like 90% of people. No? So in that case, like the editor, and so in that case, it just makes sense that we work more on stuff that is more editor related. Um, for some things, I think that some exploration is needed. Like we cannot always think in advance and try to strategize about how we think it's going to go because we don't know. And so yeah, we might have some hypotheses, but in some cases the cheaper thing or the fastest thing is just to try. And so we try to build a very small version of it that still delivers value, of course, because otherwise it's like we could have just gone on vacation and done nothing. But we try to build a little prototype. We put it in the hands of people, so Evernote experts, ourselves, some other people that have been requesting it, or even just like random people. Sometimes we just enable it for random accounts, and we just see how they interact with it, ask them their opinion, check how many times they use it, etc., etc. Um, and then we just make decisions based on that.
I got it. I, I was just trying to understand it, but that's okay. Skip releasing whatever it is. I'm happy.
We will.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about betting spoons for a moment. You guys recently acquired Meetup. And I have to ask because it's a calendar thing. We have the calendar on Evernote. Is there any relation there? We'll see some connection there, or is just another product Betting Spoon has?
So we try to keep the companies that we acquire as independent as we can, um, because we think that ultimately what we should build is the best product possible for the users of that product. And so I am not a huge fan of doing things just because you can do them, you know. So I think we could easily add meetup events to the Evernote calendar, because we have the events database and we have the calendar on Evernote. But I don't think that would bring too much value to Evernote customers. To many of them, maybe to some of them who use both products, it would. But I don't think this is very high priority compared to other things on Evernote, like for instance two-way calendar synchronization, you know, like the ability to edit and create new calendar event on Evernote. That's if you look at the calendar feature inside Evernote, that's a much higher value feature to build compared to showing their meetup events, because not every Evernote customer uses Meetup, and so I don't think that's relevant. And so we're not just trying to force integrations with other products in our portfolio just because we can, unless they make sense. Maybe I don't know. Maybe a lot of people want to have like image enhancement features that we have on Remini inside Evernote, and then if people ask, we will build it. But yeah, this is our approach.
Yeah, I thought about that because a long time ago when I was doing some meetups and workshops, and I would use both features. I would use both Meetup and Evernote. So I immediately thought about it. Okay, let's that would be a good match. But I understand. I agree with you. There are many other features, and talking about that, there are some suggestions I have for the calendar. I think everything that has a date in Evernote should be on the calendar. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on that.
I just talked about it today with the team. Um, I agree. I think ultimately the calendar should be the tool that you use to see everything you have to do that day. Um, so be it meetings that you already have in your like Google or Outlook calendar, or notes that have a reminder on that day or at a specific time, or tasks that are due that day. Um, I think that Evernote is very well positioned to be the hub of your day, basically. Be it calendar, tasks, or notes. It's basically the tool that you use to organize your workday, and in some cases, not only your workday but your day in general. So yeah, I really relate to that vision. We are trying to what we're trying to do now is to break down that problem, that not problem, but like that vision in smaller problems, in smaller items, so that we can, as we were saying, not like build a huge spaceship and then deliver it a year from now and realize, this is actually not something people wanted. But like, let's break it down into some smaller subsets of features and just deliver one after one after one after one in like 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, etc. And just like iterate based on that. Okay, no, we did this, but people told us that they actually wanted that. So our direction should not be this way, but actually this way. And so, uh, it's a bit messier, but I think that ultimately it brings you to a better result.
Yeah, in fact, I think it is a bit messier, but it's much better because, like you said, you're putting this to test. People are trying it, and you can see the data coming from the. And this is how I like to organize my things. I let everything a little messy for a while and try to figure out what I'm looking for, when I'm looking for, and based on that, I then organize. So I think that's a great approach. And talking about the calendar, I love that we can all see the pop-up of the calendar because we used to have to go to the home and then look at the calendar, and that would be a great place to have the tasks and everything because I'm working on a note and I can simply click there and see that pop up, take a quick look, and go back to the note. So I think it's going to be a great addition when you guys start adding more things to the calendar. I really love that idea. I think that Evernote calendar has to be Evernote calendar with everything from Evernote. Okay, I think that's it. I'm not gonna hold you here. You have a lot to do, and I'm really happy with. I'm sure I'm speaking for everyone that are reading the tweet. So thank you so much for everything, and keep tweeting.
Then I hope everybody keeps being passionate about Evernote as we are, and just keep sending me feedback. I will try my best to address everything, of course, in the order that is reasonable based on how many people are asking for some things.
Great, thank you. See you.
Thank you so much.